All right, lesson 58 is the distance problem. Jimmy can drive 60 miles in 1 hour. The statement gives us two rates. You could either say 60 miles over 1 hour.
1 hour over 60 miles.
Or 1 hour over 60 miles. If we want to know how far he could drive in 2 hours, we use the rate with miles on top. So, whenever you see the equation, distance equals rate times time, as it says in the book here on page 186, the rate used has time on the bottom in the denominator, and we call that, when it's like this, the rate, or another word for that is speed. So let's look at some of these problems here. We only have one with 2 parts. Mildred traveled the first 120 miles in 3 hours. So this is practice problem A on page 187. And we have Mildred traveled 120 miles in 3 hours. And the first part of the question is, what was her speed? So we're going to set up miles over hour, miles over hours, 120 miles over 3 hours.
40 miles per hour.
Yeah, 40 miles per hour. Secondly, how long would it take her to travel 400 miles at the same speed? And it says work the problem 2 ways.
It would take her 10 hours.
Okay, how did you do that in your head?
I just added a 0 to the end because 400 and 40, they're very similar. So, because they're like just one less 0, so I just added a 0, which would be multiplying it by 10, which would make it 10 hours.
Okay. So now that's easy to do with those numbers. If they were trickier numbers, we want to stick to a formula. So we can remember that distance equals rate times time. And what information do they give us? They give us 400 miles. And what does that fall under? Distance, rate, or time?
Distance.
Right. So I'm just going to simplify this. D equals R times T. Distance is 400. The rate, we said already, is what?
40 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm. 40, and we'll put miles here. Sorry, M for miles. Miles in 1 hour. And then we're looking for T. We're looking for time. So, what do I need to do to find T? I have to multiply by the reciprocal. So multiplying by the reciprocal of this would be 1 hour over 40 miles. So I do the same thing over here, 1 hour over 40 miles. These divide out, and we want to keep our labels because that's an important part of the problem. we divide out 40 goes into 400, just like Charlotte said, 10 times. So our answer ends with T equals 10 hours. So. Another way we could do that would be to first solve it for, take this same equation here, D equals RT, and solve it for time. So if we know D equals R times T, then what does T equal?
Time. 10 hours.
Time, well, we solved this actually. Time equals distance over the rate. They're doing it a little bit different way in the book, so I'm just gonna leave that alone for now and go on to the next section. You can see how they do it at the top of page 187 and page 186. But we're not going to use that a whole lot, so let's just go on to the next section unless there's any questions on that.